Hi, I'm Lipton from SNOW Operating. Welcome back to Sam's Capacity Management video series. In our first segment, we discussed arrival times, so be sure to check that video out. There's a link in the description. In this segment, we're going to dive into the world of the rental shop. A question we are continuously asked at SNOW Operating is how to determine the number of people we can put into the rental facility at a time, or basically, how do we come up with our capacity? Understanding your resort's capacity is always important, but especially now in a COVID world. Here's what you need to know in order to determine the capacity of your rental shop. Step 1. In order to determine your capacity, you first need to identify each step in the rental process. At Big Snow, our process steps are check-in, outfitting, boot fitting, and equipment pickup. Think of your rental shop process as a water pipe. You want water to flow smoothly through the pipe without any backups. Within that pipe, there are wider sections that can process more water and narrow sections that can process less water. The narrow sections are the constraints, and the constraints determine the speed of the entire system. Here's a hint. It's often the place where there's the longest line of people. In rental shops, the boot fitting process is commonly the constraint, and so capacity of the entire shop is determined by the relative speed of the boot fitting process. Now that we've identified boot fitting as the constraint, we need to find the capacity of that constraint. Here's where some basic concepts of Lean Six Sigma can become useful. Using our team here at Big Snow, we're going to run an experiment. We're going to do 10 sample boot fits to get the average time per fit. Now, for any experiment, the greater the sample size, the more accurate your results will be. But for simplicity, we're going to use 10 for this example. Now, we're going to change boot fitters and run the experiment again. Note that the less variation in the process, the more accurate your results will be. For example, if boot fitter 1 takes 10 seconds to retrieve a boot from the rack, and boot fitter 2 takes 12 seconds, that's relatively low variation. But if boot fitter 1 takes 10 seconds, yet boot fitter 2 takes 30 seconds, that's relatively high variation. If you have high variation in your process, your first step is to standardize the process so that all boot fitters are following the same steps. Use your most efficient boot fitter as the model that all others should reproduce. But that's a lesson for another day. For our purposes today, we're going to assume that you have minimal variation in your process, and that's a good thing. Back to our example. 10 sample fits from boot fitter 1 and 10 sample fits from boot fitter 2. We measured the time for each and found the average across both groups. Here are the results. We can fit 1 guest every 2 minutes on average per boot fitter. That means in 60 minutes, each boot fitter can fit 30 guests. So, 2 boot fitters could fit 60 guests per hour, or 10 fitters could fit 300 guests per hour. So, back to the main question. How many people can we put into the rental shop per hour? In this case, the answer is 300, assuming we have 10 boot fitters and 10 guests entering the shop every 2 minutes. To summarize, in order to determine your rental shop capacity, you first need to find the capacity of your system's constraint. Once you know the capacity of your constraint, then you know the rate at which you can put people into the system. I'm Lipton from SNOW Operating. Thanks for watching.